What's up, NBA fan? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel. Just want to give a shout out to the rest of the crew: Shad, Kelvin, Jermaine, KB Film Room, Big Dog Talk Sports. That's right, that's right. For everyone who's tuning in, we hope that you support Behind the Bench, become a subscriber, and help make this show the best that it can be. And we have now earned the appreciation of close to 1,900 subscribers. And it just shows that we're doing something right. And we're going to keep on doing it, providing sports content in the way that we feel it's meant to be. Now, I want to talk about something. Remember back in July of last year during the off season? Remember when Rob Pelinka, GM of the Los Angeles Lakers, signed all these free agents, from Cam Reddish to Jackson Hayes to Gabe Vincent to Christian Wood, re-signed Austin Reeves, re-signed D'Angelo Russell, re-signed Rui Hachimura, re-signed Jared Vanderbilt. And what were the talking heads saying? What were the pundits saying about those moves? They said, kudos to Rob. Rob for president. We love Rob. The Lakers had the best offseason of any team in the NBA. You even had some pundits who said, like out the box, almost in jest, the Lakers have the deepest roster, not just in the league, but in the history of the franchise. So they're saying that they built up a deeper roster than Showtime Lakers of the 80s, than the Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal led Lakers of the early 2000s, BKA the Lake Show, and the Kobe Bryant, Pau Gasol led Lakers of recent championship glory. That's what they're telling me. As well as the original young core from 2014 to 2018. They celebrated those moves. Kudos. Executive of the Year type praise. Now, fast forward 6 months later. It's the same old song. Rob ain't doing his job. The front office is not qualified. The ownership, they need to sell the team. And it's the same repetitive cycle year after year after year after year since the year or the season of the bubble. And now, once again, Rob Pelinka finds himself in the crosshairs of fans who, for some reason, and this is not an attack, this is more of a plea to understand the state of this franchise and why Rob Pelinka was not able to make any moves during this trade deadline that ended 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. But what behooves me is, and I understand it's easy to lose track of all of the different players who have donned the Laker uniform since they went full win now mode, all-time win now by any cost, by any means, no matter what scenario, that kicked off during the summer of 2018 when they brought that guy to the squad and was signed by this organization. What more can this man do? He's been asked to be on the phone lines more than any other executive in the country in corporate America. I guarantee it. Definitely more than any executive in pro sports. Under his stewardship as GM, although there's questions as to whether he's been the actual GM of the team, because we all know what's up. Even if we don't want to say it, we all know who's really been running this organization as the de facto GM. Not the GM by official title, but the de facto GM. But the actual GM has been asked to facilitate moves that has led this organization to overhaul the roster 6 straight years, executing close to 30 trades, let go the deepest young core, the most talented, most versatile young core in the history of professional basketball, relinquish the rights to a total of 15 draft picks, trading away, letting go 14 drafted players. You have made so many moves that you have darn near depleted the G League talent pool from the Los Labos Lakers. That's the Laker G League affiliate team. They have darn near depleted that talent pool. What more can they do? And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to constantly hear criticism of a front office that have done everything. They have mortgaged the franchise for this guy, and it's never enough. Because the situation and the criticism and the critique and the pressure and the constant expectation proves that it's more about that guy and his success than that of the organization. And that's why they find themselves, as of right now, 1 game above 500. Let's think about this. You've made all these moves over the course of the past 6 years in an attempt to win now. And outside of that one season that culminated in a bubble tournament, this franchise has not succeeded. They've ended the season in disappointment, coming up on 5 out of these 6 years. Outside of that one season in 2020, they have a cumulative losing percentage of around 49%. If the Lakers were somehow able to finish the season this year 45-37, they would break even with a 500 record cumulative since all of this began. Who's winning in this scenario? Who's winning? I don't see a winner. I see everybody else from the outside winning. A team like Oklahoma City can make moves just like that. Because what these organizations have found out, the New York Knicks improved significantly. The Dallas Mavericks improved. What they're finding out is the more assets that you possess and the more direct talent pool that you have, if you use those assets appropriately, the more leverage that you have when you feel it's time to improve your team. The less asset capital that you have, the less leverage that you have across the league. And the teams know that the Lakers are depleted of their own drafted talent and draft picks. They know that. So that's why it may feel to fans that the league is out to get the Lakers and to fleece the Lakers. But the reality is the organization has fleeced itself when they mortgaged the future away and relinquished the most talented young core in the NBA 5 years ago. And that's the root of the problem. And I've alluded to it time and time again. Like I said, down the road, later on during the season, I will be breaking down the talent of every individual who the Lakers drafted during those 4 years and show how they progressed and the projection that I concluded for each player, they're meeting that metric and beyond. There's nothing more this franchise can do. Nothing more. They tried to acquire Dejounte Murray, but the Atlanta Hawks like, I want 2 first-round picks and give me so-and-so and so-and-so. The Lakers can't afford that. And this is where it's time to be realistic. You can't try to play up on the past glory by engineering a situation where you're trying to convince yourself that you're on point, but you're really not. Because what's going on now is not a reflection of true Laker greatness or what made them great in the past. It's not even close. That's why they have the record that they have. And it's not about winning championships every year. It's not about that because nobody's going to win every year. Showtime didn't win every year. Kobe and Shaq didn't win every year. Kobe and Powell didn't win every year. But they didn't sell themselves short. The organization never sold itself short, which generated those championship runs of the 80s, the early 2000s, the late 2000s. They never sold themselves short. They invested in their future. And see, we had an opportunity to do that all over again before the organization was led to relinquish that young talent, the real young core. See, the young players they brought here to the organization over the past season, their average age is like 23, 24 years old. And they were immediately embraced by fans. And I asked myself, why did the original young core not receive that same embrace when they needed it the most, starting off at 19 years old? What you see now on the court with Jackson Hayes and Cam Reddish, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura at that age of 24, imagine what Julius Randle would have been looking like. Imagine what Brandon Ingram would have been looking like. Imagine what Josh Hart would have been looking like. Imagine what Alonzo Ball would have been looking like. Imagine what Ivica Zubac would have been looking like if they'd have been allowed to grow and develop together as 19, 20 years old, reaching, where they come of age together at 23 and 24. You see the Oklahoma City Thunder out there and what they doing? That would have been the Lakers. That would have been the Lakers. Because if you look at the talent that they have, and they have talent, man, I'm loving what Oklahoma City's doing. I'm loving what they're doing. Do fans of the Lakers actually believe that our young core couldn't achieve the same thing? Well, if they don't believe it, that means they don't believe in the organization. And see, this is why the organization ultimately has sold itself short. When you go this route and you try to shortcut the process to winning, well, eventually you're going to shortcut yourself out of the process, out of the landscape. And that's what's going on right now. So ultimately it comes down to the point, do you truly believe? Because if you have to siphon off talent or overturn or turn over young talent to bring in superstars, that means you really don't believe. That's what have led fans to say, well, the Lakers have never developed young players. Well, the history shows otherwise. And that's why I've been saying recently in past videos, this is nothing but a big, huge Jedi mind trick. That's all that's going on right now. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a lot of talk. It's a lot of hype, but there's no substance. This man has probably made more phone calls than the other 29 NBA executives combined since the summer of 2018. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. I'm being real. Because every time this team hit a snag, especially over the past 18 months alone, they've overhauled the roster three times. And he's being asked to do more. There's nothing more he can do. That's why they didn't do anything. And that's why they need to close the book on this chapter and move on. There's nothing else. There's no superstar. Now all this talk about, trying to save first round picks and cap space to bring in Donovan Mitchell. Why would Donovan Mitchell want to come to a team that's won game over 500 when he's currently on the team in Cleveland that's the hottest squad in the NBA? They've won 16 out of their last 17 games. And as we speak right now, they're in second place in the Eastern Conference behind the Boston Celtics. Why would he want to leave that situation to come here? To be scrutinized and criticized when the team hit a snag. Why? And this is why I said ultimately, when they went this route in the summer of 2018, all they did was acted 1 year too soon, and now they're acting 1 year too late. They're caught up in the matrix. That's what's going on with the Lakers right now. There's no way in the world you would think with two superstars on this team that they are one game under 500 as of right now. That's where they at. And it's not like Oklahoma City, Minnesota, the Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, the defending champion Denver Nuggets are going to just fall off the map with 30 games to go. That's not going to happen. Those four teams alone are only a game separated by one game in the standings, and then you got the Phoenix Suns. They are in sync right now. They getting hot. Then the Pelicans, who just beat the Clippers on the road last night, they starting to fine tune. Dallas has improved Sacramento. They proven ain't no fluke. That's eight teams right there. Out the box. Just in front of the Lakers. Utah in rebuild mode. They were like a 500 team. And they play better at home. And then Golden State is won like they last 3 games. They're only a game out of the 9th spot. There is no magic wand. As Rick Pitino said back in the day, when he was coaching the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish ain't walking through their door. Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, James Worthy ain't coming through their door. Shaq, Jerry West ain't coming through their door. Byron Scott ain't coming through their door. It is what it is. When you mortgage off your franchise, a decade worth of talent pool and draft picks, well, this is what happens. And they want this man to do more, and he's done everything. And in closing, it's like a repetitive cycle. That's all this is, a repetitive cycle. That's all that's going on. Oh, man, Rob for president. He did it again. He worked his magic. Oh, man, he the maestro. Oh, he the godfather. And it's right back to square one. because they have no talent pool of their own. And they've depleted of draft picks. And that's the reality. And that's the price of doing business with that guy. And I won't mention his name, but that's the price of doing business with that guy. So I just want to drop that nugget. And until next time, this is JB for BTB, Behind the Bench.